With all the really cool cars that are in the Wizard shop right now, I have one that's even cooler. Let's take a look. All right, Bug Ninja, or Adrian, I guess we can call you.
Yes.
I have a vehicle that's in the shop today, and I brought you here today to film with it because it is so amazing.
I can't wait to see it.
Once I pull it around, you're going to start getting heart palpitations.
Oh,
You can be like, oh my God.
Okay.
So I'm going to go get it, and we'll pull it around, and we're going to Google over it together.
You want me to cover my eyes or what?
Yeah, you could turn and face that direction.
Okay.
You can listen and see if you can figure it out by hearing it.
Okay,
But
we'll
I'm
do it.
going to pull it around. Let me go grab it.
All right, brother. You gotta be kidding me. This thing is perfect. Where'd you find this?
Look at this thing, huh?
Oh my God.
This is in Wichita. A guy owns it.
Get out of town.
Same guy that owns the Beetle that was in here just recently.
The red one?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow. What year is this?
It's a 68 Volkswagen. It's called a single cab pickup or transporter. It's basically a bus.
Yep, single cab transporter. Absolutely.
Yep.
This is perfect.
It's in such good shape. I mean, the paint, everything looks new on it. Even look in the bed, the wood stakes, or the wood strips, I should say. Even they look brand new.
This is amazing, Wiz.
Awesome, awesome. Anyways, we're going to take a look around it, talk about why it's here, and I wanted to get some of your take on it. I know these things are pretty rare, aren't they?
Rare and expensive.
Expensive, huh?
Yeah. I mean, out of 23 Volkswagens that I've owned in my lifetime, a bus or a transporter has never been on my radar because I can't afford one. I mean, these things are getting up there into double, triple digits.
Wow.
On some of them.
I'd imagine this one would be a triple digit or close to it.
Oh my goodness. This is amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah, show me around.
Look at this thing, man. This is gorgeous.
I don't even have words for this one. This one is it's perfect. I keep saying perfect. It's perfect.
I love the color.
Yeah,
The orange and the white.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You know, I've been seeing all kinds of cars in my life. I've never seen one of these.
Really?
Up close, I mean, one of these that's a truck.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen the buses and everything, but it's really a treat for me, and that's why I called you here today. I knew you would really like this.
I love this one.
So I guess this thing has some sort of like storage on the sides. Not only does the pickup bed sides come down, but there's a storage compartment here. Let me get the right key. There's a... Yeah, I guess I must... I opened it earlier.
It's all lined on the inside.
Oh my goodness, it goes all the way through.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even know that. And it's got like truck bed coating, all nice and refinished. And
That's what I was saying. It's lined on the inside. I mean, at the end of the day, these were still used as work trucks, delivery vehicles, and the like.
wow.
Leave it to Volkswagen to still have something that looks this good, but still practical and able to be used on an everyday basis.
I think what's crazy is this is a 1968. And other than buying one of these older ones, you can't buy something like this today. There's nothing like this.
Well, the funny story is think about how many years between this truck and the advent of vehicles like the Avalanche before we started getting storage boxes and things like that back on trucks again.
Yeah,
Volkswagen was way ahead of their time.
It really, really was. I'll go ahead and close this down. I guess it's got little springs or something on the side. You just push.
Okay.
That's how it holds the door up. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, really simple design, but effective.
All right, Adrian, go ahead and get that latch, and I'll get this one, and we'll put this pickup bed side down.
Ready?
Yep. Isn't that so cool? So like if you had a forklift with a small something, a engine transmission on a pallet or something,
Just slide it right up there.
boom, right on there. You can't buy that today.
No. No truck makes this.
This
Rather
is so
than
cool.
Just, your regular flatbed, but it's not attractive. This is way cooler.
Yeah, it is very cool. Go ahead and put that thing back up.
So, now, Wizard, I have to imagine that if it looks this good on the outside, then the engine has to be a masterpiece, right?
Yeah, we'll get to that here in a minute, but it's beautiful. I wonder, so does this come down? It's got hinges.
Should.
Let's try.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you could put all three sides down and have a flatbed.
And it still has rubber snubbers on the outside of the bed there, so it doesn't mar the paint when you let it down.
Oh wow. This has got to be the coolest truck I've ever seen. It's actually the most useful. You wouldn't think so. It's amazing. You know, the guy that owns this, he actually said he uses, he'll take it to Lowe's and Home Depot. He'll still get stuff, pipes or whatever, wood, or he uses it every day.
I'm sure the guys at the hardware stores get a kick out of
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
having to load up things.
Let's take a look at this engine in here. Pop the hood.
This is what I'm at.
The bonnet.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
Wow.
You could about eat off of that one.
It's got a serpentine belt conversion on it.
Are those like Delorto or Weber carburetors on there?
Those are Weber's.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. That looks so cool. It sounds really good. You heard it a minute ago.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things it's here for is just like on the red Beetle that was in here, is he'd like to just get in, start it, and go. He doesn't want to mess with priming the pump, the mechanical fuel pump. You can see right here it's still utilizing the mechanical fuel pump, which is right there. We're going to be removing that and doing just like we did on the Beetle, installing an inertia switch for safety. Then we're going to install an electric fuel pump. So as soon as he turns the key on, it's instantly filling the carburetor fuel bowls with fuel, ready to go. Today's gas, it just basically evaporates when it sits for any period of time,
Right.
and that will solve it, just like it did. He was very happy on the Beetle when he picked it up, and it just fired right up. He's very, very happy. So happy, in fact, he's like, please take care of that on my transporter. I was like, we can do that. All right. We already seen through there because it goes all the way through. I haven't seen any dents or scratches or anything on this thing.
No. And, if you did, who cares?
Yeah.
When I see these buses at shows, you'll have people who trek in from clear across the United States, and it's almost a game to them to see if their 60-year-old vehicle makes it, to the event. And
Right.
just like the guys with the old Chevy and Ford trucks, there's kind of a pride in leaving the patina, on the truck, not painting it. Obviously, I have a huge amount of appreciation for a vehicle like this that's so well put together. But the ones that are still survivors and not
Right.
restored, I appreciate those as well.
Well, we haven't seen anything really to speak of as far as damage or any concerns on the outside. Let's let Mrs. Wizard hop into the cab and let's take a look at the interior.
All right.
Hey everyone, as always, we're starting here in the dash, and it says 80,000, but I bet that's going to be 180,000. But this thing is really good. If you remember in the Red Bug, it was really mint. It was so cherry. This one is a little bit more authentic. You can tell we got a little bit of a crack there. What do you think, Adrian? Where can he find a new one, you think?
You might be able to check out J-Bugs, and I don't think that they're horribly expensive for that replacement dash.
And if you really look, that's the only crack. This thing is looking really amazing. It's really a time capsule. If we look at the gauges here, not a lot happening there. We got speed and we've got a gas tank. Not even sure what they would have done in that third location. We do have a little bit. We got some changes in where our vents are blowing. We've got 3 important knobs down here. We've got the lights, the wipers, and of course your emergencies as well. They have upgraded the radio. I'm pretty sure there was no SD cards back in '68, so they have updated the radio and something a little more modern. And it looks like maybe the faceplate on the ashtray may have come off. I would have opened it, but it's really loud and screechy, and I won't do that to your ears out there. That's a little cruel and unusual for you guys. We do have the emergency brake release, and again, there is our shift knob as well. Not a lot down there in pedals either. We've just got the 3 to make it easy. The carpet's looking fabulous. One thing that's kind of fun is when we look under the seat, notice when we looked in that through spot, we didn't see a spare tire. It's right here. If we look at the door panel, they're looking good, just as they were in the red bug he has at home right now. Last before we go, check out this headliner. Nicely perforated, no tears, no sag. Got a dome light there. Obviously amazing glass. This thing is in mint condition.
It's perfect.
Got leather seats. What do you think, Adrian? Are these originals or redones?
It's hard to say. They look like they might be original to the vehicle, but again, it's hard to say. They could have also been changed several years ago.
They are really they're just in such a great condition for that age. They're sweet.
Whether they're original or they're replacement, the whole truck just needs to be complimented on how well taken care of it is. You can tell that the owner of this truck really loves this automobile.
So, Wizard, let's put this up in the air.
Let's do it. That was definitely kind of odd pulling in between the lift there with the front. The wheels are behind you basically.
Right.
I was like, whoa! Definitely have to get used to that. Well, I'll go ahead and get this thing on the lift and we'll see what's going on. He complains of an oil leak, so I guess we'll find out what's leaking oil and check out the underneath.
I'm expecting it to be just as clean as the rest of this vehicle has been so far. This is fantastic.
I am too, really. All right, let's get it on the lift.
All right.
All right, Bug Ninja, let's see what we find on the underneath here.
What do we got?
So it looks like, well, these are the torsion bars, aren't they? Torsion bar suspension. Looks like they replaced anything that needed to be replaced, but then there's a lot of original items left in place. So if it's functional and good condition, they left it alone, which is kind of down the same way I would think.
Right.
We got drum brakes. Check anything's loose here. Nothing loose there. And we'll check over here. Nothing loose there. No sway bars, Adrian.
No. This isn't the performance model.
No, it's not the performance model. And then we have, this is our shifter here.
Yep. And right next to that, covered up, is going to be your heater tube.
Oh yeah, that's the heater duct that goes all the way back.
All the way back. It splits off here. It goes to both sides of the exhaust.
Yep.
Up here.
Yep. This is interesting. It's like, the Beetles are all the body. It basically has a frame down the middle, it has frame horns and down the middle.
It's
But this
like
actually,
a spine.
this actually has a frame like you would think of on a normal truck.
It definitely needs to support more weight, so that doesn't surprise me too much.
Oh, interesting.
And another little thing about the heater was that they were never great on any of them.
No, they were marginal at best.
At best.
Yeah. And here's some more of our torsion bar springs. This is the swing arms here.
But also being helped out by coilover shocks in
Yep.
the back.
That's definitely helps for with load capacity. And here's our shifter coupling here on the back of the transmission. It's a little drippy.
A little moist there.
Yeah. Our transmission is pretty gungy.
Yeah, it might have been coming off of this and just kind of blowing back on here and drying up.
Yeah, it could have been. We'll just clean it up and then drive it and see where it's coming out at. Right now it's completely coated. Look at that. It's got air cooling fins on this oil pan here. It's like an extension of the oil pan.
It's an aftermarket piece too.
You can see that the gasket's leaking here with the sump plate right here. It says Claude's Buggies. You ever heard of Claude's Buggies?
I haven't heard of Claude's buggies, but you see a lot of this on air-cooled vehicles. They obviously there's no radiator, so they have to do whatever they can to be able to dissipate heat
Yeah.
as much as they can. The same thing is going on over here on the valve covers.
Oh, you're absolutely right. It has Claude's Buggy's valve covers on it, and they are also, it's leaking from the nut and also from the gasket.
Right.
So
A couple
that,
things to tighten up there.
yeah, nothing serious.
No.
See, we have this gasket here. It's also a little finned plate that it's also dripping. You can see it's leaking there. Here's our exhaust, this aftermarket exhaust. It looks similar to the one that was on the Beetle, and it sounds similar. It sounds really good.
Yeah. Very
This,
high quality.
this valve cover is also leaking over here, Bug Ninja,
Okay.
just like the one you found. So therein is our oil leaks. Whatever the transmission's got going on, it's not dripping on the ground.
Well, that's what I was mentioning a little bit earlier. I think that perhaps off of this spot up front, it's kind of coming down and blowing
It could be.
onto the bottom of the transmission
Yeah.
and kind of caking up there over time, over a long time, because that isn't a serious leak at all.
When we dig a little deeper, we can check the fluid level here, and if it's pretty low, then we know it's leaking pretty bad.
Right.
Here's our remote oil filter. That's interesting. A lot of these air-cooled motors didn't even have an oil filter, did they? They just had a screen in the sump.
Right.
And here we have an actual oil filter. That's really cool.
You see that a lot as upgrades on these air-cooled cars too, putting the remote oil filter there.
Yeah. It was done very well. It does need some little tidying up here. There were some gaskets, but you can tell it was, whoever did this did a very good job. They did a really good job, so.
And I'm sure that he'll be perfectly happy with it once you're done tightening everything up.
Yep. Let's go ahead and get this thing on the ground. The tires look good. We did check the tires, just making sure. But let's go ahead and get it on the ground and talk a little bit more about it. So we've checked this thing over, and we really haven't found anything majorly wrong with it other than a few oil leaks. And he'd like to convert it to an electric fuel pump to solve the evaporating fuel issue. So it starts every time that he gets into it. Other than that, there's really not much else to do to this thing.
No. You know, going over this vehicle got me to thinking about the fact that times have changed so much since 1968 with this vehicle. And I get it. You have to add safety and comfort features and things of that nature. You know, we as a society have changed. But the sad thing is that we'll never see cars like this again.
No, we never will. You're
Just
right.
a vehicle that's, I mean, we were searching for things to talk about with this car because there's just not much, and didn't have to be. It was just a vehicle and it worked. Had a steering wheel, it had pedals.
Right.
It had an engine that was simple, doesn't even have a cooling system on it other than air,
Rather than air, yeah.
right? We'll never see cars like this ever again.
Right. And you just mentioned a minute ago, it has Mother Nature's lane keep assist, which is you, the driver.
Your two hands.
Your two hands, yeah. That's kind of a funny deal. I think as far as using this as a truck, it could be used to haul light to medium payload. It really wouldn't be something to tow a trailer with. It don't have the kind of grunt, it don't have the cooling, it would probably overheat. Just the nature of the way it was designed. I mean, maybe a small little single axle trailer, but really it's just pallets of supplies or things like that, or lumber, or really that's what this thing would be geared towards, I think.
Well, this was a pancake for VW engine. I think it's rated at less than 50 horsepower.
Yeah, it's definitely in that range. So it's not really good, especially if you get into the hills and you're towing something. This would not be the vehicle to tow with.
I was actually driving a bus variant of these through the Appalachians in Pennsylvania, and had an entire wedding party in the vehicle with me. And as we're going up the hill, I mean, I'm flooring it, and it's barely creeping up. It's not meant for anything serious at all. Around town, no problem.
Yeah.
I surely wouldn't tow anything with it, but I'll miss, cars like this in the future. Our kids won't even know what this was about.
They'll see this and it'll probably be a big letdown for them. They're like, does it connect to anything?
Yeah,
Does it have, where's the Bluetooth? Yeah.
Right.
So sorry, it doesn't have it.
Actually, I have a student in one of my classes, a young lady who she had this design, this front cover on a t-shirt, and I said, oh my gosh, we have one of those trucks in our shop. She's like, you've got to send me a picture.
That's awesome.
So 18-year-olds still can appreciate it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they appreciate the design and everything. It's a really cool vehicle. So, although we looked at a vehicle and we're talking about cars today, what Adrian does for a living is pest control services. If you're in the Wichita area, or really, how far out would you go?
I do about a 100-mile radius from Wichita.
It's about a 100-mile radius of Wichita. You've got what? Roaches issues, you've got bed bug issues, armyworms.
Armyworms this year, yeah, they've kind of taken over Kansas.
Yep, spiders. He's the guy to call. He's really the, if you want professional service, you want it done right, kind of like here at Omega. You want it done right. You don't want no games. You just want a fair price. Not a cheap price. I didn't say cheap. A fair price. And you want it done right. Click the link below. There is bugninja.com. You can check out his services, give him a call, and set up an appointment and get those issues taken care of. So,
absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. And also, if you're curious what kind of tools we're going to use in the shop to work on this beautiful VW, check my Amazon affiliates link in the description below. We get a small cut and we really appreciate it. And make sure you hit the subscribe button, because cool stuff like this just keeps happening in here. It's really awesome. You don't want to miss out. Hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.